Hey, what's up? This is a video response to MovieBlogTv and John, who's in charge there. You know, John, I heard what you had to say, how you feel about certain movies being released 2 to basically 2 to 4 months after they're released in theaters. And you know, I kind of understand where you're coming from with that. I mean, it does feel kind of weird that it feels like, you know, just yesterday you were watching the television trailers or TV spot trailers for the movies being announced of when they were going to come to theaters, the release date, the rating, and all that. And all of a sudden you're seeing the TV spots for their release on DVD and Blu-ray. You know, and I can understand where you're coming from, where, you know, you can go back in time and remember when releasing a movie onto VHS and even the early days of DVD was an event. In fact, I looked up The Lion King, which ironically is going to be re-released into theaters this week for 2 weeks in what is known as Disney Digital 3D, and then soon after that released onto Blu-ray 3D and Blu-ray home video, and then later on as a DVD, standalone standard single disc DVD. I remember when that came out in June of 1994, and then it was released on VHS in March of 1995. And that was kind of like an event, because a lot of people were waiting to see that movie, since it had been heralded as one of the greatest movies of all time and as the greatest animated movie of all time. So, you know, just to, you know, look forward to the fact that it was finally being released on the VHS, I can tell you from honest experience, it was something that I'll never forget, because even though I wasn't there when it first came out, didn't get it the first day it came out, or even though I wasn't at the midnight showings, I did get it, I think about maybe a week or so after it came out or something like that, at the Kmart in Topeka, Kansas, that is. So I understand where you're coming from, what used to be like an event. But I think I can also understand why it's being released, why movies nowadays are being released on the Blu-ray and to DVD, you know, almost immediately after they're released in theaters, almost immediately, you know, after, I mean, basically to the point where it feels like, well, wait a minute, it just came out in theaters, now it's come out to DVD. I think I can understand why that's happening. The reason it's happening, in all honesty, is due to the fact that it's the economy. I know that sounds like an excuse, but I believe that's the reason. It's one of two reasons. I mean, that's got to be one of a few reasons. The other reason I can think of is maybe they got to deal with the movie studios. Like, okay, we'll have the movies out in theaters for this month, for this long, and then we'll bring them out at this time. I mean, I can understand that, you know, releasing them during the holiday season is a much better option, because, you know, you got Christmas, and, you know, what better presents to get members of your families or your kids or your friends than DVD or Blu-ray copies of the movies that they saw in theaters that they enjoyed. So I can understand that. But like I said, it's got to be two reasons. One, they either have a deal with the movie studios, have deals with movie theaters and stuff to have the movies out for this long and then release them. Or my most logical answer is it's got to be the economy.
We gave it all this and that.
It's got to be the economy, because I can remember that before this whole recession took place, this whole recession, if you will, took place, that movies did wait a little longer. And there are some studios out there that can afford the fact that the movies will be released a little later than what they were, a little later than, you know, what people expect. Some movie studios can afford that. But like I said, I've got to go out with the fact that it's got to be two reasons. One, it's a deal with the movie studios, those and movie theaters, and two, it's probably also the economy. Because I want you to think about this. Like I said, before the recession, did we ever see things like this happening? No, we didn't. We really didn't see this happening. So, I mean, yeah, you could say that since 2005 it's something like this has been happening. That's true. But you got to recall, I think around that time is when the recession started to slowly kick in and we were starting to go into debt. This state actually, as well as this country, was going into debt. So, you know, they couldn't really afford to keep movies in the theaters as long as they wanted to. I mean, it's not like back in, you know, the late 40s, you know, because I was watching this Hollywood Christmas thing on Netflix streaming, that was made in '96, hosted by Jane Seymour. And she said that when the original Miracle on 34th Street came out, it came out in July of 1947, and was released and was kept in there even through the Christmas season. So it can tell you that a movie can stay in there, but it all depends on the economy. It all depends on the economy, and like I said, I believe ever since this recession started to slowly start up, possibly like you say around the year of 2005, 2006, just started to slowly swell up, that a lot of companies knew that, hey, the only way we could save some money around here is to start releasing the movies a lot sooner onto DVD and Blu-ray. You know, not wait until this period, or wait till that time, or wait a year. You know, do it now. I could tell you honestly, when Tangled came out, it felt like it was just in theaters. Because I went with my family to go see Tangled in the theaters here in Modesto, at the Brendan Theaters in Modesto, in December. And then then around March or something like that, or April, it suddenly came out to DVD. So I can understand where you're coming from with, you know, with being sick and tired of the fact that this is happening. But I truly believe, again, in all honesty, it's got to be two reasons. One of the reasons is maybe the studios have deals with the theaters to keep the movies in the theaters for so long, and then so they can get ready to release them. Or two, which I think is the most logical, like I said, is the economy. You know, studios even right now are still trying to build up from this recession. I mean, they got billions of dollars. There's no doubt about it. They get a lot of money from the movies that gross a lot, from all these hit movies that gross a lot. I mean, Warner Brothers, take them for example, probably have a lot of money from the whole Harry Potter series. But again, what it is I think for some studios, it's the recession. It's the recession, and they know it. I mean, take a look at Rio. Rio came out, what, in April, March, and all of a sudden it came out, what, in late August, early September to DVD. What does that tell you? Again, I think for some studios it's the economy, it's financial reasons, and maybe also some other studios, they got to deal with the theaters. I don't know, but I think most logically it's financial reasons. So it's the economy and it's financial reasons. So I guess in their mind, hey, the best way to save money, let the movies come out to DVD and all that sooner than later. And this has always been something that's been making me wonder if maybe sooner than later the movies are going to be ending up what's happening with the independent movies right now. If you have like your on-demand services with Xfinity or Time Warner or whoever, now with the independent movies right now, you get to see them on demand on your pay-per-view on demand channel. The independent movies, like what you see at Sundance and all that, on television the same day they come out in theaters. Even though it's a temporary showing, on television you see them at the same time. So it makes you wonder if perhaps that's the future of major studio films. If that's the future for, like, say, movies based on Marvel Comics, like another X-Men film or another Daredevil film or remake of the Daredevil film or another Hulk film or whatever. If that's the future. Is that the future for future DC comic adaptations into movies and being released by Warner Brothers? Is that the future for them? You see, we don't know. But again, getting back to topic on hand, I believe it's two things. One, they either have a deal with the movie theaters to keep the movies in for only a short time, or two, it's financial economy, financial reasoning. That's the only way I can look at it, John. So that's just my response to you. You comment down below, tell me what you think, and I will talk to you later.